Hello dear audience, Grandmaster Shipov is working for you again today. We're going to be looking at the fourth round game, Carlsen against Aronian. The Slavic defense, anti-Marian variation. A fashionable move of the modern theory. White is hinting on the breakthrough e4. Black is also preparing for battle for the e vertical. In the last century, Black put the rook on c8. In our time, the rooks are positioned on the most central verticals. Another fashionable idea. White is again acting as if he wants to play e4, but in reality he's waiting for Black to start activating to successfully use it for his ideas. The bishop from f1 in the future can go to g2. Levon has taken a lot of time, surprisingly. He could not know this idea. The move bishop f1 became quote-unquote public in 2002, while elite chess players like icebreakers of theory should have come to it even earlier. An interesting novelty. Black on one hand is standing against the breakthrough e4, on the other avoiding sharp movements. Judging from the reaction speed, Magnus also analyzed the move of the black bishop to b4. That of course is not a pawn sacrifice, but a trading combination. Without any doubt, we're watching one of Carlsen's homework analysis. The time on the clock is explaining a lot. Carlsen has an hour and 55 minutes left, Aronian has an hour and 17. Time to harvest pawns. A sharp move, I think maybe even too sharp. It's bearing the square b5. White is getting good perspectives for the attack on the queen side. A beautiful breakthrough in Carlsen's style. Another possibilities also have their negative sides. We see a classic position with a black isolated pawn where the duck-squared bishops are missing. This nuance is beneficial for white. The bishop b7 is very passive, and the bishop f1 has a lot of perspectives. The jump onto c4 is visually a beautiful idea, but who is the knight going to be attacking? Magnus is still playing very quickly. Levon has taken a lot of time again. It's necessary to find some way to come up with complications to deprive the opponent of the positional comfort. But how? Correct. There's no reason to hurry. In such situations, it's important to slowly put more pressure, methodically shaking loose the opponent's defense. All in all, playing in the style of Karpov and Kramnik, the best masters of positional play of our time. Though it's possible that in 20 years or so, commentators will be saying in Carlsen's style. It's time to go to the center. Aronian couldn't resist. Put the knight on center stage. Exactly. The difference in the time is becoming quite large. Carlsen has an hour and 18 minutes left. Aronian has only 28. Levon, wake up! Wow, only this foreign word is coming to mind. It doesn't look like Black has full compensation for the piece, and piece sacrifices are only successful when all the other living fighters are active. Yes, in the endgame, if there will be still that sad construction bishop b7, d5, and white will have the living pawn b4, the evaluation of the position will be made without any doubt. I'm analyzing the position in depth. The main intrigue, will white be able to keep the pawn b4 alive? Its loss will really decrease winning chances. Adds extra pressure. The best defense. So Levon reached his goal. The potential strongest pawn is gone. Black has 3 pawns for a piece, but that's still not enough compensation. Black pawns are broken up and aren't able to move ahead. Carlsen is planning to simplify the game and without any risk realize the extra piece in the next 100 moves. Aronian is planning to keep at least some kind of counter chances. The first to die will be pawn b6. After it, the rest will follow. Levon is already deep in St. Knot. Carlsen has 55 minutes. Aronian has 3. In this situation, it's much easier to boldly attack than patiently defend. Black's pressure can be felt already, but white has a simple trading combination. Carlsen found it. Black already lost one pawn, saving the knight f1. The last State-Knot move. Now we can take a break, drink some coffee, and calmly analyze the position. If you let me, I'll start with the coffee. I don't believe in black saving himself. 2 white pawns is valuable capital. A desperate move. Aronian doesn't want to suffer for long and die slowly. He really wants to confuse the opponent. Makes combinations even in the endgame. The Armenian Grandmaster's skills to put pressure even with the minimum power deserves a lot of respect. There's a threat of h4. White must soon force trades. He'll win in 300 moves or so. Another slight trick. All in that active style. Played very ornately. Lemon sets up a new trap. White is winning. The maneuver knight h1, knight g3, knight e2 liquidates black's activity. The difficulty of the making of the move knight hg3 is psychological. The fact is that Magnus only moves the knight from g3 to h1 and now can't find boldness in himself to return it to the previous place. Carlsen chose another path. Of course, I understand his desire to fixate the pawn structure on the king side for ages. Put the pawn on g3, knight on f4, etc. But is that possible? The king is hurrying. Let's assume that the pawn h4 will be traded by g5. But how do you get to the pawn g2? The knight is moving to e2. That's not only a defense of the pawn d4, but also an attack on the pawn h4. X-ray down the fourth horizontal. You know, I keep on doubting the quality of the move h4 more and more. The pawn is away from the pack, and that is always bad, both in life and in chess. White has difficulties realizing the advantage. The endings with 2 knights against the pawn don't look so prospective. The most technical have to endure. White just have to have enough time to move the knight out. But he doesn't. A fantastic achievement for black. The move h4 is really argued here. The practical chances need to be used to the maximum. It's important to point out that Aronian is again in State-Knot. 57 minutes to 8. Magnus, what's the point in hurrying? Why put the pawn on the square where black can trade it with the breakthrough g5 and f4? There was time to maneuver a bit more, let the opponent make a mistake. The second time control is passed. Black is closer to a draw more than ever before. That's it. Black is killing white's last pawn. Draw. A fantastic lucky ending for Aronian and a tragic loss for Carlsen. It's possible that during the game I missed some subtle moments, but the summary of the game is clear. Magnus met the opponent's creative novelty with homework, got an advantage, and smartly grew it into a solid-sized one. Levin decided that the best defense was counterattack, and in his classic way sacrificed a piece. Objectively, black was losing, but Carlsen didn't have enough technique and patience. He played really well for a long time, but lost the advantage with the move h4. In the final stage of the game, Aronian correctly defended. Again for you was working Grandmaster Shipov. Tomorrow the tournament has a day off, so I'll see you the day after tomorrow. Have a good day.